This is Sean with Voices Live On. We're here at the Meridian for SavingStoriesMeridian.com, and I'm here with Erika, and you also have a writing side, and your writing alias is Erika Brooke. Is that correct?
Yeah, correct.
Okay, so you're interested in helping save the stories because of your past, helping people through those Indy moments and saving their stories. And I think that's great. So I'm glad that you're interested in helping out the people we help. Give us just a little bit of what about those aspects from your past and what really motivates you to want to help save people's stories or people's memories of others.
Sure. Well, storytelling it's a powerful technique for people to kind of feel heard. I think when they can get some things out that they weren't able to say or have always wanted to say, that's beautiful to capture. So there's that aspect of it. And then having done some death doula work and listened to people's stories, end of life, I think we can bring that idea and concept to people that are full of life force still. And so instead of waiting until you're sick and you can no longer do the things you always wanted to do or say the things you wanted to say, we can get in a space where we can say that while we're living. And what would be those things left unsaid, and through that sort of metaphorical death really helps you live a better life, a more fulfilling life, a more engaged life, in touch with others, and can help with relationships too.
Right. So to kind of break down the areas of how we help, which you're hitting on it with kind of doing it more now than waiting until later. Interviewing everybody in the family of their favorite memories of grandma who's still alive and grandpa who might have already passed away, so everybody can learn from each other's perspectives. We link everybody in the family's interviews to a private page so they can all access each other, listen, learn, and download and save. And then also interviewing the seniors about their favorite memories of, their kids and individual grandkids of each group within their family. So they have that personal segment from them. We started doing people's life stories as a main focus, but here at the Meridian, we're able to do families, histories up here, seniors stories, but also a lot of things in the community, local businesses. We just had Shirley Mullen, who owns Kids Inc., just around the way of the bookstore on Illinois. You got to witness that interview. It was about a half an hour for talking about her life and talk about the store and passion for reading and how things are changing in society. Like, what are some things that really stood out about that interview that you saw and about how she really was able to get into it and even get emotional at times?
Right. So her being older, she got to share her story and then how she made a soup kitchen. And then she shared this experience where she was kind of scared outside with her two young kids, and some people from that soup kitchen came and helped her feel less scared and say, hey, you've helped us, we got you. And that's the part she got emotional about. So I think really giving her an opportunity to share her story as an end of an era type thing. And it was beautiful to witness that she knew she had that kind of impact on somebody and to be able to share the why behind what she does. Also, I think sharing stories like that can help, as you mentioned, like with families and what grandma did, and it helps that person, but it can also give the elders in the family an opportunity to pass down wisdom to help with any kind of family traumas or family powers or whatever that came through, so that people can know about that and otherwise maybe things they wouldn't normally talk about can come through and come forth to bring healing and restoration in families.
Right. So your background, you have a scientific background and then also an artistic poetry writing, and you've published a book as well. Is that correct?
Correct.
And what was the book about?
So I have a poetry book published. It's called Holy Darkness, Evil Light. So it kind of talks about these different aspects of philosophies and healing and all these different things that go along with that. And then I wrote a book called Wombs, Dying Wishes. And basically I was leading up to having a hysterectomy. And so I became my womb's death doula. So essentially my womb narrated the story, and I kind of went through some of the, my philosophies, things I had learned, being eternal now instead of waiting until we die, or kind of claiming some of that power or that peace that we feel after death. Why not experience that now? So that was what that book was about. kind of a booklet.
And you worked for Roche Diagnostic as well as a couple other big laboratory tech organizations, basically?
Sure. I started my career in a hospital laboratory. My degree's in clinical laboratory science, and then moved into industry from there. So I've worked at Roche Diagnostics, and prior to that, some other industry players in clinical trials and laboratory testing.
And you also love cooking, philosophy, nature, hiking, travel, basically the earth signs, I would say. Is that an accurate way to...
Right. Yep. So just kind of, I don't know, I guess integrating both sides of the brain, even, just the parts, the masculine and the feminine, or however you look at those, yin yang, and exploring all of it just as a holistic approach to living.
So what would you like to get out personally of the experience of interviewing somebody about their life or their organization, their company, their career? What are you really trying to get out of it yourself? What do you think it'll do for you?
I love experiencing those moments that, like the lady you were interviewing earlier, where she can bring the why to why she did it, or the moments that really impacted them, or where they get emotional, or really get to share their story. Because I think a lot of us don't feel heard, and we don't necessarily feel understood or like anybody cares. And so when you can do a gift for somebody where you learn that all those people care, that's a big part of it. I think it's a big part of helping with mental health and keeping people here instead of checking out. And I personally just love to witness people's stories and let them open up and feel heard.
Well, I really appreciate your interest in wanting to help save the stories with the individuals and groups and things that we deal with, even here at the Meridian. Is there anything else you'd like to say just in general?
Not necessarily, but just really looking forward to the opportunity of getting to connect with people and encouraging one another. And it's kind of, I worked in the deaf industry, and a lot of the saying they say is we're all just walking each other home. And I don't know who to credit that to. It wasn't me, but I like walking people home, I guess. Home to themselves, home to the other side, whatever home and however they're defining it.
And hopefully they get to hear the impact they've made on the people around them while they're still here. And that's kind of one of our bigger missions.
Right. I think it just it gives you that extra push to keep going, I think.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you for your time today. And I look forward to the road ahead and us saving some stories.
Yep. Thanks.
You got it.